What's up YouTube, PiLiPiLi here, and today we're doing things a little bit differently as we're going to analyze my series against Cham from EPT Cup. And for those who don't know, Cham is the best Latin American Zerg. And instead of analyzing replays, we're going to be looking at my VOD, because I played that series on stream, but I didn't give much commentary as I was busy playing the tournament obviously. And we're going to go over the meta games that happened in that series and all the decisions that went through my head. Just to give a little bit of background, me and Cham have a little bit of a rivalry. I wouldn't call it that big of a rivalry because most of the times we play in tournaments, it's rarely anything important. It's usually, you know, EPT cups, small online cups, since we play in the different regions. But we've played almost 100 games against each other in tournaments. So, you know, we know each other pretty well. There's a lot of meta games going on. We meet each other on ladder all the time. There's a lot of little decisions that come into the play. And I would like to give my insight on that. We'll split our videos in two parts. Part 1 will cover the first game, and part 2 will briefly cover game 2, and then go in depth about game 3, which I think was the most exciting game and had a lot of meta games in it. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this kind of format. This is my first time doing that. So if you guys like it, you know, let me know. If you don't like it, let me know as well in the comments. Or if you want me to adjust some things about it, my ears are open. So let's get started. And here we are in the first game in our best of 3 against Cham. Start showing this full screen. Perfect. Alright, so first things first. The very first game we're playing on Manticide, and I decided in my head to go for the glaive opening because usually on this map I go for very heavy Stargate against him on ladder. Thought that would be a good idea to mix it up in tournament and go for glaive. And on ladder, actually what I do is I do the same thing where, if you saw, as soon as the game started, I send the prop across the map to lock his natural, and I do the exact same thing with my Stargate build. So that was me trying to like be a little bit cheeky with the metagame, but instead of following up with the Stargate, I would follow up with glaives, and I was actually gonna go for 6-gate glaive build, because he sometimes likes to defend with mass links. But either way, we block his natural. He saw it and he just took his third. Perfectly normal. Back at home, I'm just getting a gateway and a gas.
Doing this any
The
more
usual.
cold snow pictures. That's a mad motivation.
I'm going for a very regular, you know, pylon, low ground, gas, gateway, 20 Nexus, 20 Cyber. Harassing his mineral line a little bit. Slowly getting my expansion, then going for Cyber. Nice and slow. Now, with the scouting, I'm kind of just like poking around. There's not much to see, it's mostly just to annoy him, but I'm also checking larva, just in case like he's banking 2-3 larva, then probably like some sort of link pressure. It's a little uncommon, but possible, and you always want to harass drones, especially in tournaments, just to be a little annoying. Then never a bad idea. Getting the second pylon, and then keeping the prop on his natural. Obviously, I know that he has his natural on his third base, but we're blocking the third on his natural. Slowly rallying probes to gas. Nice. Nice opening, nothing went wrong, very good. And we chrono with Stalker right away. That was our first choice, because I was gonna try to kill the Overlord so he doesn't see if it's Twilight or Stargate. I see 4 links, I get out with the probe. And I go right back actually, which is actually what you're meant to do. Just for this reason, because I want to see that he's making the third base, which is really important. And I don't get to see that. And now I'm a little suspicious, right? Like, he could have made it a little after, but I couldn't really turn around because the probe would die anyway.
What's he doing with the overlords?
Oh yeah, he made a big mistake here with the Overlords. He could have just put it on the cliff and be fine. But I think he was just trying to bait it, because, well, you will see in a second. But I lose the probe, but I kill the Overlord. I move out to see this, and it takes 3 shots for a Stalker to kill a Link, so I just focus firing it slowly while my production is going, and then I see this. So this is kind of an important part that I wanted to kind of emphasize, right? So it was a little bit boring until now, but this is where stuff gets real. So his build order was basically normal hatch first and the gas pool. It's not like 12 pool drone pool, anything like that. But he decided to pull drone. This is one of the builds that Zest died a lot to in GSL and stuff like that, because people knew that he opens Glaive a lot, so there's no potential for Oracle. So people would just straight up go for this kind of link floods, but they will also bring drones, so they can drone drill through the Adept in the wall, and also for extra damage and stuff like that. But as you can see, I think the way I reacted was very good, right? So I have Stalker, I have Adept on the way. I'm just kind of cutting the links as per normal. Like, I'm not really suspecting anything yet. And then I see extra links, I chrono boost right away. That was... So this is kind of what you want to do. As soon as you see that there is extra links, you always want to chrono boost your gateway as your first reaction. And as soon as I see drones, this is what I did. I pulled all my probes right away. Because I know, if as long as they defend, I win, right? Because this is just super all-in since he pulled the drones. I see there's not that many drones, but it doesn't matter because it's always like super all-in. Because link flooding is usually happens like 20 drones. So if they pull like 8 drones on top, they only have like 10 to 15 max, right? So pulling all probes is good. So I think those trades were really helped me here, because we shoved a lot of the links before the real fight begin, before the links get kicked in. This is another really important part actually that I want to emphasize. This is why camera location hotkeys are super important. It's right here. So look at how I'm microing the probes, because probes will, like when you fight like this, right? See, like probes can only attack like 5 at a time while links are attacking them. It's not a good trait. So you want to get a surround, and the only way to get the surround is to middle walk. But you have to middle walk to the third base. So what I'm doing is I'm pressing my third base camera location, jumping there. You see, I jump to third. I rally all my probes to one of the middles, and then I A move. And see, all of a sudden, my surround is much better, so now I can actually fight. And I do this a couple more times with a little more probes. So, and if I just stood there, I would just get stuck there and lose. So that's a really awkward situation where it's basically all the probes we have, and we have 2 adepts. It's not that. I think this was a little bit of a mistake. Yeah, getting my adept caught for no reason. Definitely wasn't ideal, but I thought I'd be able to wall off before he came, but I just was a little short on money, I guess. Finally wall off. And this is where stuff gets really interesting, because I lose adept. Oh, I didn't lose adept. Okay, that's good. Good job, PiLiPiLi. You didn't lose adept. But I had like no money, like because probes are constantly fighting, they just can't afford anything. And we'll, oh yeah, finally lose adept. Now I remember. And now it's all about making sentries, right? Making sentries and making walls. So I started shield battery, which I should have started a while ago. And my warp gate is actually gonna finish, which is really important. Kind of missed the forceful there.
Oh, I fucked up.
Yeah, I'm a little upset here.
Cheap loss. I'm so sad.
I already gave up mentally. That's crazy. But we actually, warp gate actually finished. I don't know if I'm gonna cancel. Oh, I should have canceled the units and let the warp gate open. So we're doing the same thing. We're trying to probe drill. That way, yeah, see, I'm just putting all the middle probes in the middle choke. That way they can't actually be attacked. And then, actually, he messed up here by not just killing the shield battery. Like, that shield battery was super clutch. And I activate the peg overcharge. And I do the thing with the third base camera location again to get a better surround. And I don't know how, but we're holding this. And he tried to focus fire the battery, but we had a force field that saved it. And now we have one warp gate on top of it. And we're still somehow in this. I was actually really surprised, but everything is so slow. Yeah, I didn't need gas. I pulled off gas because I know that I only need middles. Because I have 100 gas, which is enough for 4 adepts. Okay, once again, see? Third camera location, super important. That helps my probes get a better fight each time. And this shield battery is saving me so much, it's kind of crazy. But I'm barely mining, like, I can barely afford, like, 1 unit every minute or so. It's kind of a disaster. He finally gets... Okay, that was another important part right here. I saw that my cyber is about to die. So I was like, oh shit, my cyber is about to die. I need to make a shield battery. So I made the shield battery last second. And the way I positioned it was also very good, I think. Because it creates me a little choke point between... Yeah, see, like my adepts can always retreat to it. So it's harder for him to fight. And I have some force fields. Here, I think this was a little questionable. Trying to defend the main base, probably unnecessary, because I don't know if I needed that much. And see, this shield battery is super clutch. It finished as we were fighting, and I used Pepega overcharge, so now every single unit survived. The sentry survived like 1 HP, the other one was super low as well. And he tried to kill it, but because I was in a good spot with force fields, I actually managed to save it with the probes. And that was kind of the turning point for him, because now I'm actually in control, because I have 2 gateways and a wall and a shield battery. Here I kind of messed up, and I sent 1 sentry to deal with 3 links. And spoiler alert, they don't win the fight.
Oh, I'm an idiot.
So I lost the sentry. And that was a kind of a disaster, considering how important that sentry is. But we have another force field, so we just force field the ramp. A pylon is still alive, very important. The shield battery is very helpful in this situation. Continuing the wall, because now I'm actually mining for the first time in this game, so I can actually afford buildings and units time to time. We create another wall between those 2 pylons with 3 units. And the wall here, like, it's super sketchy wall, but it is what it is. And I messed it up, actually. But once again, we have another super overcharge, which, I mean, at this point, he's probably super pissed about it, because it's the 3rd super overcharge I used this game. It's 7:30 into the game, and we're both on like 10 drones, or 10 workers. But now I'm starting to restarting my pro production, because I'm like not really sure what's happening. I see links keep coming, but I do have that shield battery that I started super early, and we actually hold. Because now I'm going to look at the replay and realize that he only had 11 drones this whole time, while I was already at 23 making workers and I had 2 gateways.
Quite a game, actually.
So that was kind of a good hold. I think that the most important lesson from here is camera hotkeys are good for this purposes, because if you try to like, if you move your probes and then you drag your screen to the 3rd base to do that probe drill, like, it takes too much time and you will like always lose a little more. But if you use camera location hotkeys, you just jump there super quickly, probe drill, and then you get a much better position with your probes. But also, like, shield batteries, very good against this kind of stuff. Good positioning for buildings. My defense was nowhere near good, and we got lucky that he didn't focus for our shield batteries a couple times. And you know, if there was like a couple more link shots and shield battery would die, it would be a completely different game. We probably would have just lost. But with Ling all-ins, especially super all-in like that, when you go Twilight, and like the Twilight that I make was completely wasted time and money for me, or mostly money, I guess, not really time. So it's important to like everything should be like super clean. Because if I went Stargate, I would have just made an Oracle and probably held it fine. But when you go Twilight, you know, you waste all that money into a building that can get you units against a bunch of links and drones. So drone like probe drilling is very important, and shield batteries in good positioning. And yeah, I hope and that was game 1, I guess. So we were up 1-0 after this game, and that also gives me a mental edge in the series, because now I know that he's afraid to do crazy stuff, because it's risky for him to risk, right? Like, he's already down 1 game. If he loses another in a single elimination tournament, he's out. So now he has to think and play more conservatively. Well, I get to make the risks, because I don't mind losing 1 game in this series, because I'm up 1-0. And we'll kind of see that in the next game, but we'll go over that in the next YouTube video. So I hope you guys like the format. I hope you guys learn a little bit how to hold this kind of builds. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe, watch my other videos, all that, and peace out.